Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashoda Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Nitai Gauranga bolo, Nitai Gauranga. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Patita Pavana, Gaura Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hariba, Hariba, Haribol, Haribol, Nitai Gaura. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Ashtottara Satasri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Srila Prabhupada ki, Prabhupada Anuga ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavadina Ishtiki. So all the people online here, what is that? Which was reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 16, Text 44. Nahi Bhagavan agatitam idam Twaddarshanandrinam akila papakshayah Yennama sakritshyanava shravanat Pukkasho api vimuchyate samsarat. Please repeat. Nahi Bhagavan agatitam idam Tvatdarshanan akila papakshayah Yennama sakrit shravanat Pukkasho api vimuchyate samsarat. Nahi Bhagavan agatitam idam Tvatdarshanan nrinan akila papakshayah Yennama sakrit shravanat Pukkasho api vimuchyate samsarat. Nahi Bhagavan agatitam idam Twaddarshanan nrinan akila papakshayah Yennama sakrit shravanat Pukkasho api vimuchyate samsarat. Na, not, he, indeed, Bhagavan, O my Lord, agatitam, not occurred, idam, this, tvat, of you, darshanat, by seeing, dranam, of all human beings, akhila, all, papa, of sins, kshayah, annihilation, yatnama, whose name, sakrit, only once, shravanat, by hearing, pukkashah, the lowest class, the chandala, api, also, vimuchyate, is delivered, samsarat, from the entanglement of material existence. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. My Lord, it is not impossible for one to be immediately freed from all material contamination by seeing you. Not to speak of seeing you personally, merely by hearing the holy name of your Lordship only once, even Chandalas, men of the lowest class, are freed from all material contamination. Under the circumstances, who will not be freed from material contamination simply by seeing you? Purport as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Yan nama shruti matrena puman bhavati nirmalaha. Simply by hearing the holy name of the Lord, one is immediately purified. Therefore, in this age of Kali, when all people are very contaminated, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is recommended as the only means of improvement. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama iva kevalam, kalau nasti eva, nasti eva, nasti eva gatiranyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Brihan Naradiya Purana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced this chanting of the holy name 500 years ago, and now through the Krishna consciousness movement, the Hare Krishna movement, we are actually seeing that men who are considered to belong to the lowest class are being delivered from all sinful activities simply by hearing the holy name of the Lord. Samsara, material existence, is a result of sinful actions. Everyone in this material world is condemned. Yet as there are different grades of prisoners, there are different grades of men. All of them in all statuses of life are suffering. To stop the suffering of material existence, one must take to the Hare Krishna movement of Sankirtana or Krishna conscious life. Herein it is said, Yen nama sakrit shravanat. The holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so powerful that if once heard without offenses, it can purify the lowest of men. Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulakasha. Such men who are called Chandalas are less than Shudras, but they can also be purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Lord, not to speak of personally seeing the Lord. From our present position, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be personally seen as the deity in the temple. The deity of the Lord is not different from the Supreme Lord. Because we cannot see the Supreme Lord with our present blunt eyes, the Lord has kindly consented to come before us in the form we can see. Therefore, the deity in the temple should not be considered material. By offering food to the deity and by decorating and serving the deity, one gets the same result that one derives from serving the Lord personally in Vaikuntha. Om Tat Sat. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Kauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the translation is, My Lord, it is not impossible for one to be immediately freed from all material contamination by seeing you. Not to speak of seeing you personally, merely by hearing the holy name of your Lordship only once. Even Chandalas, men of lowest class, are freed from all material contamination. Under the circumstances, who will not be freed from material contamination simply by seeing you? One is darshan of the Lord, seeing the Lord. The other is hearing the holy name of the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord. These two are compared here. And we are told that the Lord's name is very powerful. It is so powerful, especially in this holy name of Kali, holy age of Kali. We are not able to take advantage of coming to the temple, seeing the Lord, meditating on the Lord, or doing any of these activities so easily. But simply by chanting from wherever you are, you can immediately experience the supreme absolute truth. You can get the benefit of coming to the temple also and seeing the Lord. So this is described here. And throughout the Bhagavatam there is great emphasis on contacting Krishna, meditating on Krishna, using these wonderful opportunities like chanting the name of Krishna that is given to us. Why? Prabhupada is saying here, material life is actually suffering. And somehow we don't know that. Because we are so steeped inside suffering, so much in illusion. We don't know anything about anything. The acceptance of being in ignorance is the first step. That I am in darkness, that I am suffering, that I don't know who I am. I don't know anything about anything. Just realizing that much only, it takes a long time. For most people to understand that you are an illusion. It takes a very long time. In fact, even if you read it in theory, even if you believe it intellectually, if you have analyzed it, if you have understood also, you still don't come to grips with it. So that's why Prabhupada is talking about ignorance and is saying people are suffering. But we don't think we are suffering. When you read these statements in the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita, we immediately wonder, what suffering am I going through? That is the problem. That is the suffering. Ignorance is the suffering. You don't know. You don't know that you are suffering. In other words, the other side of it you don't know. What you should actually be enjoying, you don't know. You're totally ignorant to yourself and your enjoyment that's possible for you. So it is a very sad tale. It's actually very sad. It's a tragedy. First of all, nobody believes, nobody has faith, and even if you're told, you don't take action. Matirina Krishne paratasvatova mito abhipadyeta grahavratanam adanta gobir vishatam tamishram punascharvita charvananam. Very nicely described by Prahlad Maharaj. In their own consciousness, they don't have Krishna. Matirna Krishne. Paratasvatova. If somebody else tell them also, they won't understand. Grahavratanam. They are very solidly determined to enjoy this illusion. Adanta gobir vishatam tamishram. And because of that, they enter lower and lower regions of ignorance. So he is feeling sad about it. And he is feeling that I should do something about it. So sometimes when people get to know and realize it and understand it, they become very happy to understand the truth. And they want to tell this to others whom they are very convinced they are under illusion. And those who are under illusion are not willing to accept what you say. They think you're a mad guy. Why don't you just enjoy life? You're a mad fellow. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. When I came here initially for preaching in Coimbatore many years back, that time I had taken a very bold decision to leave a job and a profession and take up the sadhu profile and go and teach people. So I went to one very big businessman here, a North Indian businessman. His name was something with Mukesh something. I remember that he was very impressed with me talking to him about all these things. And you're from ISKCON, I heard about you guys were very happy to see me and all that. And then I want to give you some donation and all, he said. Then he said, where are you from? What are you and all that? He started inquiring. When we don't see people. So I told him, where are you? Where did you study and all that? So I did my engineering. He suddenly got very angry with me. Got so angry, he took the paperweight and said, get out of here. I said, what's wrong with this fellow? What's wrong with this fellow? I never met people like that. I said, you're a national waste. You've wasted your whole life. You've become I said, what is wrong? He actually threw me out. He doesn't believe what I'm doing. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be working. You should earn money. You should contribute to the whole national economy and the GDP going up. And it's a very faithful, committed Graha Vratanam. This is the meaning of it. Very committed to the material development, not knowing anything about himself. And that day I was wondering, my gosh, did I make a mistake? He hit me so badly, so heavily, that he took the paperweight and said, get out of here. He wanted to give me a donation and he turned completely around. He set me thinking a lot. I said, but this fellow is really thinking. So the determined people are very determined to be in illusion. And they're determined to remain in ignorance. Preaching means dealing with these people and making them slowly wake up and understand. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. Even for Krishna, it's not easy. That's why he's standing here like this. Come and see me, come and see me. Nobody's coming to see him. This is the truth. It is the truth. He's standing here, waiting for people to see him. That is why Prabhupada is saying it is out of his kindness that he has come in this form, in his Archa Vigraha form. It takes time to actually believe that he is very eager that you may get some credit, some spiritual credit you may get, by accident at least. Ajnata Sukriti. Without knowing, you will get some credit. He is waiting to give you benefit. Waiting to give you benefit. Because you are in such a horrible situation and you don't know about it. And you don't know about it. So this whole thing about illusion and ajnana, ignorance, very important for us to know. All that studies that we do and everything in college schools, all another level of ignorance. You're proceeding and getting certified in ignorance. It's certification of ignorance. When you read the Bhagavatam only, you come to know that. Everything you do, all those things are complete ignorance only. Because you don't know who you are. Because you don't know what is going on. Because you don't know the root of everything. So the Lord is appearing in that ignorant world of yours. He's coming. That is why it is His mercy. He needn't do that. He needn't do that. Because you're a wayward son. He left his father, went away to live on your own. And you don't want to see your father also. A lot of modern stories are like that. Separated from home, married, on my own. I don't like to see my father. They fight with each other and a lot of stress and strain they go through. And the tendency to be having hatred is coming out of ignorance. So Krishna, in spite of that, is appearing. You should understand how offensive we could be, what nonsensical things we can do, and still you can come and see the Lord. Sometimes I see people coming, parking the bike, quickly coming in front there, from there taking darshan and quickly going away. Like that, at least that much. He feels he should stop his bike, come down, some guilty feeling. This is the temple and this is God is here. Krishna is from his heart, making him feel, do this. At least do this. At least park your bike and come and see me here. So Prabhupada is saying, seeing the Lord is not different from seeing his Archa Vigraha. So this is a benefit that people get by taking darshan. So in India, it's common to take darshan. When people from the Western world come, they simply don't understand, what are you guys doing here in front of some funny looking dolls that you have decorated, and you're waving some smoke and you're waving some, lamps around it. Just can't understand anything about it. Yes, you can't. You can't. It's a science. You have to read it. You have to understand it. Krishna is appeared out of his mercy. Right? Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Prajendranandana. I know you are not a statue. You are sakshat Krishna himself standing here. That is the faith of devotees who worship the deity of the Lord. They know he is standing here. And on top of that, in Kali Yuga, people won't come to the temples you have built. They will not come to the temple. In fact, they'll turn their face the other side when they go. So many people I watch, they look like this and immediately turn off. Immediately turn off. Sometimes I wave from the top and say Hare Krishna in the hope that some Hare Krishna will hit your ears. They go up and down here, but not even once have they stepped inside into the temple. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But Krishna is actually waiting. Very patiently waiting to give his mercy to anybody who comes in front of him. That's why when a person starts relating with the deity, Pratima nahi tumi, I don't think you are a statue. You are Krishna himself waiting here. And I am come here to offer my obeisances to you, offer my seva to you, offer my prayers to you. A relationship starts. You start developing a relationship. Krishna is very fast in developing a relationship. He'll inspire you as soon as you do the smallest of sevas. And gradually people build a relationship, especially if they are sincere, simple, not offensive. The relationship builds faster, easier. And so many people have a relationship. We don't even know. We may be maintaining a temple and busy with all the things going on. But Krishna is doing his thing with people who are coming. And people have relationships with the Lord. This is the meaning of a temple. The temple is a place where a relationship is established with the Supreme Absolute Truth. Beyond that, in Kali Yuga, people, since they don't come to the temple, don't have the time. Krishna has come further as a holy name. That wherever you are, you can just move your lips and your tongue and chant Krishna. He becomes present for you. He becomes present for you. He's following you. He's actually following you. He's already in your heart as Paramatma. And he's trying to inspire you to open your mouth and chant Krishna. Somehow. So that there is a reason for me to give you something. But you'll see people are so adamant. The conditioned soul is so adamant. And so much of hatred. So much of anti-sentiment. No, I'll not do it. So unfortunate. That's why you will see that Krishna's appearance as the holy name is considered to be his most merciful stance. He's appearing as his holy name. Yannama Shrutimatrena Puman Bhavati Nirmalaha. Shrutimatrena, Yannama Shrutimatrena. Simply by hearing the name, the person becomes purified. Person becomes purified. So, when we chant the holy name, don't think we are doing something casual. Don't think we are doing something very, very normal. It's very commonly available. It's very easily available. But it is an amazing depth it has got in purifying your consciousness. In purifying your consciousness. Religion is meant for us to learn to love God. By learning to love God, by rendering service to Him, gradually you get purified. And Krishna consciousness becomes established in your heart. Yesterday I was reading Prabhupada's conversation in the Western world, where there's an interviewer interviewing him for the TV. And he's saying, all these things about your mark on your forehead and your decoration, the type of looks, all suggest that you have a religious idea. Prabhupada is saying, no, it's not religious. That's the best part of it. He's saying, no, it's not a religious idea. He said, no, it looks like, you see, the discipline you follow. You just told me that you don't eat meat. You don't, all this religious ideas. And he said, no, it's not religion. Then can you explain to me? We are trying to elevate your consciousness. We are trying to purify the consciousness of the person. And it's elevation of consciousness. Then he's saying, is that not religion? He said, then Prabhupada is saying, religion is a set of codes for human civilization to behave properly. I am talking of purifying the consciousness. He makes a difference between religion and Krishna consciousness. Very clearly, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, which we are asking our students to do, and he repeats Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whichever religion you belong to, your consciousness will be elevated. Then that man is saying, oh, that's why you call it Krishna consciousness. He says, yes, it's called Krishna consciousness. He's telling it's not religion. He's telling, this is where, somewhere in 1960s, early 60s, he's telling, this is not religion. This is meant for anybody, for any religion to chant and become elevated in consciousness. He keeps saying, we are relieving you of lower consciousness, putting you in higher consciousness. So actually we must understand that the chanting of the holy name directly goes to the topmost thing that anybody can benefit, is to elevate your consciousness. Cheto darpanamarjanam, to purify your consciousness. It's not a small thing to purify consciousness. It's first of all, it's difficult to understand itself what is consciousness. But by chanting the holy name, whether you understand or you not, you purify your consciousness and you get to know. You get to know. It's such an amazing gift which you are least qualified to get. But it has been given to you. This is the meaning of mercy. This is the meaning of anugraha. This is the meaning of being very kind. And that's why Lord Chaitanya is called magnanimous. Very large-hearted. Very large-hearted. Normally people don't do this. To people who go against you, I don't want to show any mercy. But Lord Chaitanya, who's Krishna himself, he is decided to do this under any circumstances. So it's a big tattva, a truth, a understanding about nama tattva. We are trying to actually spread that, but we must also understand that the holy name is everything. That's why it's called Chintamani. It will give you everything that you need, everything included, and it will give you the topmost thing. But you must desire it. You must also develop knowledge and desire that. That's why Prabhupada has also written books and explained the knowledge of the holy name. Throughout the Bhagavatam, you will see glorification of the holy name. You will see Lord Shiva doing it, you will see the Prachetas doing it, you will see Narada Muni saying it, Prahalad saying it, even Shukracharya saying it. Everybody is glorifying the Lord and His holy name. And here is an address by King Chitraketu directly to the Lord Himself saying, your name is everything. Nam Akari Bahuda Nijasarva Shakti. The Lord has invested all His energy in the holy name. So we should take the chanting of the holy name to be a serious affair. It's a direct experience with the absolute truth. Vedeshu durlabham madurlabham atma bhaktau. What cannot be achieved by studying the entire Veda and trying to plummet the depths of the understanding and get to the truth, the reality, can be achieved simply by chanting. Yen nama shruti matrena. Simply by chanting the name alone. So that's why called a golden period. It's called a golden period. That's why Prabhupada is saying, in that interview he's saying, all our students are very energetic and enthusiastic. All my students are very energetic and enthusiastic. They take up the chanting of the holy name and they don't belong to India or anything. They are just doing what I say, presenting to them, and they are becoming enthusiastic and happy. So Prabhupada is saying there is direct proof. They are not even from India, they are from here. I am an Indian gentleman. I have come and I've told this to them and they are doing it and they are happy doing it. He's explaining to the reporter that the proof is here. I can understand how it would have been for Prabhupada at that time, in that situation and circumstance, to go public and say, chant Krishna's name, it will make you happy. He's telling this to an interviewer. He's being watched by many, many people. He's taking the opportunity and saying, you do this. So, one is taking darshan of the Lord, which people think is, they don't understand the science behind it. Whom are we actually worshipping? So, such a wonderful explanation given in the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. Such a rich quality knowledge and a science explained. It's so unfortunate that people are not taught these things. In our own land, in this own place where the Bhagavad Gita was spoken, they're not taught. So woefully short of understanding the truth and the reality. So I can understand how it would have been in those days when Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling, when Parikshit Maharaj was there, and how the situation would have been, how Ramachandra in Treta Yuga would have been, and how the people would have felt, how conscious they would have been about the Lord. What an amazing, legacy. How there are such deep relationships based on Krishna and his dealings, his experiences with people. All of these are documented, and this is the richest experience. People should be actually educated, and they should be developing their faith gradually in understanding these things and executing it, and then they experience it. There's no doubt that they experience it. So the chanting of the holy name is a direct experience. Right now there is a Kirtan Mela going on in Mayapur. There are so many youngsters from all over the world who have come to actually experience Kirtan, dance, chant, and completely be absorbed in it. It's an experience. People like it. It doesn't matter which religion they belong to. It doesn't matter who they are. But when they get into the Kirtan and they chant the names of the Lord, they dance in happiness, you can see that they are deeply experiencing it. So this is a gift. This is a special gift for people in Kali Yuga. So people are so dense. They don't really understand. Many people come in front of the temple, they sit down, they don't know what to do. They don't know simple temple etiquette. So bad in India things have become that this is the land where the Lord spoke the Bhagavad Gita. This is the land where Ramachandra performed his pastimes. So many amazing things have happened. When people come, they don't know how to respect the Lord. They don't know that this is the Lord standing here. I can go and offer my prayers to him. can offer my obeisances to him. I can actually serve him. I can start relating with him. They don't know. They simply don't know. So it's a duty of the Krishna consciousness movement to explain these things to people. Give them the experience of seeing the Lord, hearing about the Lord, chanting the name of the Lord, and actually gradually coming to understand the truth. So it's a rich enlivening experience that is described here. Chitraketu is meeting the Supreme Lord. This is about it. He actually is in Vaikuntha meeting the Lord. It's a reality. It's described here. That there is a place, that the Lord actually is there available. And you can actually meet him. Brahma met the Lord. Chitraketu meets the Lord. You will see that Markandeya Rishi gets darshan of the Lord. You get so many stories of people actually seeing. These are chronicled here. Seeing the Lord is not a myth. Seeing the Lord is not just some figment of somebody's imagination. It is the purpose of life. It's the purpose of life. And by worshipping the deity form of the Lord, gradually, you get to see the Lord. Interact with him. I was just in Mayapur. I had the opportunity to go and see Govinda Ghosh's temple. For many years I wanted to go and see the place. And that's a beautiful place where three brothers, the Ghosh brothers, Vasudev Ghosh, Govinda Ghosh, and all of them were very dear servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were also gopis in Vrindavana, in Vrindavan Leela. And Govinda Ghosh, he is a beautiful devotee, wonderful devotee. And he marries and gets a son. Both the son and his wife die. Both the son and his wife have died. So he stops worshipping Gopinath in his house. It's very interesting. Gopinath is a deity whom Lord Chaitanya personally handed over to Govinda Ghosh. Govinda Ghosh is serving Lord Chaitanya personally as a servant. So after eating lunch once, Lord Chaitanya in his travels, he says, "Give me haritaki." In Tamil they call it kadkai, small bitter thing, as a mouth washer. It's called mukshuddhi. You'll take that little bit. So he said, "Oh, I don't have." He went around in the village searching for haritaki, and somewhere he begged and got from a house haritaki. He gave it to the Lord. The next day again the Lord asked him, "Can you get me some haritaki?" Immediately he took it out of his dhoti and gave. The Lord said, "How you gave so fast haritaki to me?" He said, "Yesterday itself I knew that you will ask me, so I saved one and kept." Then he said, "You must get married." The Lord Chaitanya told him, "You must get married because you have a tendency to save up for tomorrow. You should get married." He told him to get married. Just on this one quality, that is saving up for tomorrow, no? That means you should be a grahastha. So he agreed and he got married. Then the Lord said, "Don't worry, I will give you a deity of the Lord." And the deity of the Lord came in the form of a log of wood, and it was carved by, some great personality, especially for Govinda Ghosh by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and given to him. Gopinath. He's worshipping Gopinath. Now his wife and son died. He became very angry. He said, "Chalo, I am not worshipping." The deity is in his house. Very beautiful looking deity. In wood carved, very, very nice looking, very beautiful looking. He said, "Chalo, I am very angry and not offer you anything." So the deity is coming and asking. He's very angry. "I lost my wife, I lost my son also. And then in his mind he's saying, now I don't have a son. Putrahinam griham shunyam. Who will do my last rites? Who will do my he's most worried about my anteshti kriya, my last rites. Who will do? What is the use? And like that is completely very negative. Then the Lord will talk to him and say, my dear Govinda Ghosh, why are you worried about all these things? Just because you lost one son, you want to punish the other son also by not giving him any food? How is this correct? Just because one son is not there, you will starve the other son? Then Govinda Ghosh comes to his senses. That is the Lord talking to him, Gopinath talking to him. Then he will tell him, can you please give me something to eat? Gopinath is asking Govinda Ghosh, you are punishing me because you lost your other son. Why are you starving this son? Because of your other son is gone. Can you quickly give me something to eat? Govinda Ghosh gets up, comes back to his senses and prepares and offers to the Lord. And he again says that, who will do my last rites? And then the Lord says, I told you I am your son. Will I not do your last rites? Why are you unnecessarily worried like this? And then he becomes peaceful. Govinda Ghosh passes away. And then the Lord actually does his last rites. This Brahmin thread is tied around his thumb. And the deity is brought to the house of Govinda Ghosh. We went there also, Samadhi. Into his house, and the deity's color changes during the tarpana he's doing. The Lord is a deity. He's actually relating with Govinda Ghosh, keeping up his promise and performing the ritual. It's not at all required. Govinda Ghosh is a devotee. He can go back to Godhead. No, why to do his last rites? But because he thought so, Krishna is doing it. Even today he is doing. Without fail. He is doing that. Such are the stories. They are not just stories. They are real life happenings. You go to every temple, you go to Guru Ayyappan temple, you go to Udupi, you will find that there are people who relate with the deity of the Lord. They don't think it's a statue. They offer him service and the Lord reciprocates with them. This is true. It is real. It happens. It actually happens. If we have sincerity and we are serving the Lord with that conviction. So Krishna enters into the life of the devotee. If the devotee wants, if you desire so sincerely. Sometimes in our complex living, our complicated lives, it's very difficult to bring a simple fact inside. Krishna is actually a simple fact, the simple truth. The more complex we are, the more difficult it becomes to understand. But very simple people, in India there are so many such simple devotees. They have a direct, complete faith. And they live their life like that every day, thinking about the Lord, absorbed in the Lord, fully in love with the Lord. It may be an old lady, it may be a young boy, it may be a scholarly person, it may be so many. In all grades you find devotees who have simple faith. They instantly believe. That is a special blessing. To be free from complexity and to be simply a devotee. It's the most natural thing for the spirit soul. And sometimes we wonder that, when will I be a simple devotee? When will I lose the complexity of material life? So, there's a beautiful shloka Prabhupada quoted very feelingly. Bhavantam evanu charan. What is it? Prasada. What is it? Praharshayishyami sanata jivitam. When will I enjoy being your servant? Kadaham aikantika nitya kinkaraha. When will I just be a simple servant and enjoy my seva to you? Sanata, and feel that, Sir Nata, I am not an orphan, but I have my father whom I can serve and I can be connected with. When will I have that security? When will I feel that? Very beautifully mentioned by Yamunacharya. Prabhupada quoted that. He said real security is available when we are totally dependent on the Lord. The Lord is fully keeping you secure in that. This aspect, many devotees of the Lord, you will see, that simply by developing a relationship, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything at all. Simple service and a simple-minded relationship with the Lord. So simplicity has become so difficult to achieve. The opposite is true. The more successful we become in this world, the more complex we become. That's exactly the truth. In complexity, we get lost. And we cannot do the simple things of living, offering the Lord a flower, patram phalam toyam pushpam yome bhaktiya prayachati. Why is Krishna saying this? After making a complex creation available to us, he's saying something very simple. Patram phalam toyam pushpam. Offer me a fruit, one flower, a little water. I'll establish a relationship with you. Yome bhaktiya prayachati. So the opportunity for becoming a devotee is so vast. Krishna has thrown a huge net. Right? And if we are not going to take advantage of that opportunity, we can be the most unfortunate. We can be the most unfortunate. That's why when we come in front of the deity of the Lord, we must immediately understand it's the Lord's mercy that He has manifested Himself like this, so that we can come in front, offer our prayers, establish a connection with the Lord. So don't think that here Lord Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra is simply a statue. It's the most unfortunate thing that we can think. When we come in front of the Lord, we should actually understand Krishna is here and we should offer our respects. We should do our little seva, whatever we can do, we want to do. And we must offer our prayers to the Lord, and we must try to gradually make the Lord the center of our life. That's the reason for a temple. So, India is filled with so many temples. Prabhupada is explaining how people would give everything to the Lord. Prabhupada is explaining that the Lord was decorated with the best of jewels, diamonds, gold, gems and everything. And the temples all had the greatest treasures. The more than the king, it's the temples that had the greatest treasures. Because everybody will come and want to offer to the Lord the best of things in their life. And the Lord will be wearing it. The best of jewelry. Prabhupada explained that's why the Mughals came and they plundered the temples. They didn't bother about going and attacking the palace and the king. They said they attacked the temples and took the wealth from there. Prabhupada is explaining that very nicely. He said all the temples they plundered. Because that's where these people keep all the wealth. These foolish fellows, they keep it in the open in the temples. Because nobody will touch it. It's such a culture that belongs to Krishna. Nobody will touch it. They don't have to have a locker and this thing and all that. It's there. It's meant for the Lord. And I like to see the Lord in this beautiful decoration. And He's seen by everybody. But the Mughals thought these fellows are foolish fellows here. They're just leaving it out here for us to take it. Came and plundered. took away so much of wealth, so much of wealth. And still these devotees kept rebuilding the temple and again worshipping the Lord. Because it was not the jewels that was important. It was not important. The relationship with the deity was most important. And they kept rebuilding the temple, kept putting the deity there, again worshipping. Take it and go if you want. But you can never take my relationship. You can't steal it. And the Lord is again and again manifesting Himself. And again relating with the devotee. Because it's about bhakti. It's not about the jewels. You can take it and keep it if you want. If you got only the jewels, keep it with you. But rich bhakti, that is retained in the heart of the devotee. That's not taken away. This chanting of the holy name gives you that bhakti. It's the greatest treasure. Greatest treasure. Of course, in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada said, don't use all jewels on the deity. And they asked him, why? You said that in previous times. So Prabhupada said, the pujari will run away with it. Prabhupada very bluntly said, the pujari himself will run away with the necklace. Be careful, this is Kali Yuga. So, he didn't make no bones about saying. And that's the history also you'll see. So many big temples, so many treasures. I hear that the pujari is involved with some politician in draining the temple of all the wealth gradually. This is Kali Yuga. Nobody cares. There's such low consciousness. But ISKCON is establishing these temples. Prabhupada re-established temple culture and beautiful, affectionate worship of the deity. Archa Vigraha, offerings are made and everything. We just had the Vishwa Hindu Parishad World President visit. I had the opportunity to have dinner with him in Mayapur. And he was taken to our Mayapur Academy where pujaris are trained. He became so happy. He mentioned that 2-3 times in this public talk. He said, this is the only place I see that you are training the pujaris. And I'm so happy to see that they are learning all these things. I want to send our people here to see how you're doing it. Prabhupada established standards for temple, which even some of the biggest temples in the world don't follow. So good. He established standards and we have temples all over the world. And high level of punctuality, cleanliness is being observed. And Krishna is happy receiving this worship from sincere devotees. So we are also endeavoring to do that, building a temple for Lord Jagannath. This place has become too small, dusty, and too much of noise. We want to take him to a deeper place inside, give him a better surrounding and a better room to worship him. And by his blessing, very soon it should be ready. And we will be able to give the Lord a new residence. It's a sentiment of the devotees that I want to give him a new place. And I want to see him in his new house, that he is comfortably situated and he is getting all offerings of food and dressing and decoration and festivals. And in this way the devotees relate with him and there is a whole community that develops around a relationship with the Lord. So we are also endeavoring to do that. There is no limit to how many temples you can have. So this is temple culture. The holy name culture and the temple culture is what we are following in Kali Yuga. In this way we hope to be able to bring people back to Krishna consciousness. This is under the order of Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is satisfying the entire previous parampara along with their instructions. Om Tat Sat, Srila Prabhupada Ki.